Let the bidding wars begin. Yesterday on this YouTube channel, we already spoke about University of Michigan Wolverines forward Michael Hage, and reports from Darren Dreger that suggest that Hage is destined for a top 6 spot in the Montreal Canadiens lineup this season. Well, we are once again talking about his teammate, because TJ Hughes makes for one of the most interesting college free agent prospects this year. Today, we are diving into the bidding war that can go on for this guy, how a handful of Canadian teams are in the mix for Hughes, and which teams actually make the most sense. Let's get into it here. So TJ Hughes, if you were paying attention to the channel, we actually did make a video about him already. I think it was speaking about the Detroit Red Wings. Yes, here exactly it is. Hughes to Detroit. Obviously, there was a connection there because Hughes is a Michigan Wolverine and the Michigan team is Detroit, so obviously that makes sense. Either way, let's just dive into the scouting report here in case you missed it. TJ Hughes is 24 years old, born November 9th, 2001, a 6 feet 185 pound right-handed forward, who was undrafted as an 18-year-old. TJ Hughes played his developmental seasons in the GOJHL, and then inevitably went up to the OJHL and the AJHL. So this guy was literally doing most of his teenage development in Junior A hockey throughout Canada. Definitely an unconventional draft path, which is why he ended up going undrafted for his entire junior career. He finished off his AJHL campaign with 127 points in 60 games for the Brooks Bandits, a very notable hockey club which a particular Cale Makar was drafted out of once upon a time in 2017, before heading over to the University of Michigan Wolverines. TJ Hughes has been a consistent point producer throughout the entire 4 years he has spent in the program, with this year posting up 56 points in 39 games as the captain of the Wolverines. TJ Hughes, alongside of Michael Hage, formed one of the best duos in the Michigan system and in the NCAA in itself. 56 points for Hughes, 51 points for Hage. Obviously, Hage doing this at a much younger age is also impressive, but TJ Hughes is one of the straws that stirs the drink in Michigan, so this guy obviously makes for some very intriguing talent. With that said, let's go over to this article posted onto rg.org 2 days ago by Marco D'Amico, how TJ Hughes is emerging as one of the NCAA's most coveted free agents. The key takeaways from this piece go as follows. Hughes is one of the top guys who is targeted by NHL teams. The Michigan captain is drawing heavy NHL interest with a double-digit number of teams expected to pursue him, including the Oilers, Maple Leafs, and the Canadiens. Hughes bet on himself and it paid off, turning down pro opportunities last year to return to Michigan, a decision that led to a breakout season and significantly boosted his NHL trade value. He has elite two-way production, driving his stock, with 56 points in 39 games. While handling key defensive responsibilities, Hughes has established himself as one of the most complete players available outside the NHL. Now, I like the sound of that, eh? The guy had himself a pretty good season last year, getting 38 points in 36 games, but he said, nah, I'm not going to go out there and take that as my ceiling. I'm not going to sign a pro contract right now. I'm going to go back as a senior. I'm going to play with Michael Hage, and I'm going to get 56 points in 39 games. I'm going to be a Hobey Baker finalist, and I'm going to do all this before signing my NHL contract, which will boost my stock, give me some better projections, and make me more desirable. That's awesome. Michigan captain TJ Hughes has emerged as one of the most sought-after college free agents, with sources indicating the double-digit number of teams are expected to pursue him, including the Oilers, Leafs, and Canadiens. Oh boy. We got some Canadian team bidding wars going on here, folks. The growing interest comes as little surprise given Hughes' production this season. He has been one of the most productive players in college hockey, and his ability to consistently drive offense while handling key defensive responsibilities has made him one of the most complete players available outside the league. For Hughes, however, the attention has not changed his approach. It's obviously an honor, Hughes said, but for me, it's just been about developing each year and helping Michigan win. That's always been the focus. Hughes bet on himself, ended up drawing professional interest following the 23-24 season, at a time when several of his teammates and peers, including Gavin Brindley, Rutger McGroarty, Dylan Duke, and Frank Nazar, chose to turn pro. TJ Hughes had the option to follow, but instead made a decision that would ultimately define his trajectory. He stayed. That decision has paid off in a major way, both individually and for Michigan's success this season. With Hughes leading the way, the Wolverines have established themselves as one of the top programs in the country, entering the postseason as a legitimate national title contender. Even in 2024, when all his friends turned pro, he had interest in him, and he decided to go back to Michigan and bet on himself, said Michigan head coach Brandon Ncaa. That's the kind of competitor he is. He respects the process and doesn't skip any steps. He's just trying to be where his feet are, Hughes said. We have about a month left, so it's about taking it day by day, enjoying it with the guys, and focusing on getting better every practice. He is a pro player on and off the ice, with so many layers to his game, also being able to spend the necessary time in the gym to get stronger and on the ice to really improve his skating, Ncaa said. Everything he does is pro-ready. How he prepares himself to how he attacks every situation on the ice. You can use him in any situation and never have to worry. His impact extends well beyond the ice surface. As a captain, Hughes has played a central role in setting the standard within the locker room, both through his play and through his daily habits. He always says, "Be where your feet are." And that's the message he imparts on the rest of the team, Ncaa said. His leadership, point production, and community involvement make him a special player and a person. He is a Hobie Baker kind of player, and the kind of center you can put out there in any situation. Having him and Michael Hage together is a luxury any coach dreams of. His two-way game is pro-ready and deserves all the attention he is getting. With that said, there are a number of Montreal Canadiens fans that are clamoring for the addition of TJ Hughes. Kathy says that it's a no-brainer he'll sign with the Habs. Stable Genius says, how does he not end up in Montreal? Mr. Bond says, grew up a Habs fan. They have a man inside with Hage. I don't know if this user is saying that TJ Hughes grew up a Habs fan or if they themselves are a Habs fan. I'm not sure. How many Hugheses can New Jersey get? Oh my goodness, man. That would be the worst. TJ Hughes going over to play with Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes, and maybe he goes to Minnesota to play with Quinn Hughes, or maybe he goes over to Montreal to play under Kent Hughes. There are too many gosh darn Hugheses in the National Hockey League. Not that I'm complaining necessarily. Kent. And then you also have another user talking about Steve A.Y. Steve Yzerman of the Detroit Red Wings. Could that potentially be a fit? I don't know. We already spoken about that a few moons ago. But with that said, TJ Hughes is one of the best college players, and there seems to be a bidding war for him and his services that could reach up to 10-plus teams around the NHL. The ones that we've heard about already include the Oilers, Maple Leafs, and the Canadiens. So with that said, if you're a fan of any of these teams, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the idea of TJ Hughes heading over to your organization and being a part of the future? What are your thoughts on his overall profile? What are your thoughts on the skills he provides? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.